Hi everyone, it's Caroline. Welcome to the Hillside desk. I have a bunch of little scrappy items here. I was playing last night before I went to bed. That's why I still have this on. I still have a lot of toilet rolls from when I did my little boxes, my vintage mini boxes. I'll list that video. And I thought, what can I do with this? So I cut it in half, and then I'll show you what I did. I cut it this way. I'm making some boho beads. I guess I should let you know. Here's one that I made last night with scraps, and it's very lightweight because it's only with the little tube. And I know you can make these with straws and with just with fabric, which I think I'm going to try also, and then some scraps. Jewelry. I thought I would share that. I think this coloring will be really pretty. And here's some other beads that I made. Some paper beads. Cut this one in half because it's too much to roll. Very simple, and it's cardboard, so it will take the place of your straw or your little plastic inner tube from pens. I know I've seen that method done before. And then all I did was I used my tacky glue and put it on the edge. And if you had your glue gun out, that would be an instant grab. And then what I do is, in your clothespin you have this little hollow part that helps with the clothesline, and I use that so that it wouldn't get too squished. I had made 3 tubes. This is one of the tubes that I took. I used one of the little scraps from my scarf that I have in here. If you want to make another tube but you don't have cardboard, you want to use your paper, your magazines, any of your leftovers, make a long tube with your paper. I'm going to do this 3 ways. Make it as thick as you want. I think that'll be a good amount. And take your little skewer, whatever you're holding, there's a little hole in there. So it depends on how big you want your beads. And then on here, let that dry a little bit, and then you can continue to wrap around your bead a tiny scrap of denim from here. I love the rough edges on here, and wrap it around. Fun. Oh, this is so fun. You can use broken chain, wire. I also wanted to share the little wire edge that is in some of these wide laces. When I take them out, I have this really thin piece of wire now, and I can wrap it around and put some seed beads on there. So that fits in there. Just turn up your end so you don't lose your little beads. I took this scrappy piece of scarf and I'm rolling it like this just to make it tight and round, and going to add some glue to the top. Before I put the beads on the outside, I'm making this up as I go. And I'm not adding any glue here. And then when I put the wire with the beads on, that'll help secure it. I like the fraying boho vibe. That's what I think from what I've seen. I do have these on quite a few of my dangles because I like to use up what I have. It doesn't matter that it's repeated. I could put a chain in here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my wire as my dangly, and I'm going to wrap around, and I'm going to spread out my beads as I wrap it around. I have a few here. So this was all from broken jewelry. I use my scissors, my regular scissors, because it's very fine. Put it through the fabric, and it gives you a there like that. That's not going anywhere. Very easy to manipulate, so this is a good one. Well, that's fun. Little sparkle. And I can take the rest of this and feed it through. There we are, like that. I didn't give myself a lot of room, so let's see if I have enough space here. And then I can put another one on, but I have a different style of bead. This is from another necklace that I have been using. Oh, I like that. I'll use that one. Here's some more broken jewelry. I opened up one of the chains and then I took that off. And just to add a little bit more. Well, I don't know if that's right, but I just want it to stay and not move around. And then on here I can add, I just went to my necklace box and found this, and I'll put that on here. Not the right pliers on my left hand, but it's what I have on hand. That's going to attach up onto my whatever I used to attach it with. Then on this end, I can leave it like this. I can put a tassel. I just made this with some scrappy embroidery thread. Dangle one of these on it. Little pearl. Lots of mileage with these beads. There's another boho bead. There's two. And I'll make another one with, this is a fabric one, so there's no paper involved. Give it a little bit of glue. I think the key is, as everything, is to have fun with it. Let your imagination and your supplies that you have help you design your own fun beads. If you don't have broken jewelry or little beads and you don't want that, every style's different. You can use, I have this piece of thin ribbon. Trim this up. Fabric glue would probably be more instant. I find that the tacky glue works. long as I'm a little more patient. Now, something else that I've had for a long time in my sewing stash is this thread that I received. Well, I got this at the thrift store many years ago when I first started serging. Can't believe I found it. And then, so you can use this kind of thread. So this one doesn't have any beads, but it has this sparkly thread. Honestly, the fun things that I have found over the years at the thrift store are really coming in handy these days as I expand my art with my journals. It is so fun. This is already dry. You don't even have to wait overnight. So here's another paper tube. You don't really need these. You just need cardboard, but these are handy because we all have them. And they've already got a curve, so that helps to build it. And now what I'm going to do, I think I'll use this one to thread a piece of twine. Get my little end in here, feed that through. And there I have my two ends. So this is a perfect length of needle. Feed it on before you close it up because my twine is starting to fray. And then another one on the other end. Fun, scrappy jewelry making. I'm going to make some knots. A trick to making your knot close to your end is to put a needle, something at the end. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. Oh, I just think that's so fun. And then, so I'm going to do another knot. I will do another one just so that it's bigger. And then I'll cut it off and fray it. It's not a very thick string, so it won't have a lot of effect, but at least it's something, and it looks a little shabby. Looks a little shabbier. And then I'm going to make a loop over. And here's my last one that I'm making. I'm using the edge of the wired ribbon that I took the wire from, and I'm going to twist it and wrap it around. I'm not even putting any fabric underneath. This is my base. Added a little bit of glue. So I have some gaps to fill up, like that. Same process. I took this scrap from my basket. I took a little tiny strip off of it, and I'm wrapping it around this bead. A little more rustic looking. A little bit of glitter in there, a little bit of brown. And then wooden beads would be really fun on the end. And I don't think I have any wooden beads. I took my bead and I'm putting it on the end of this needle and using my Sharpie. For something different. Sharpie goes a long way, and then I'm going to string it up. Wanted to share, I doubled the wire. I went through and then I went through the bead. You can see here, and then it's up through the tube and then through the top of the bead again. And then here I can just fasten it off. And there's a rustic bead. Well, I hope you had fun coming along and making some beads. Get your scraps out, your string, your thread, anything you can find. Broken jewelry. This was my first one with my tube. So the tubes that I made from my toilet tube. This was one that I made quickly here with paper around a skewer and then wrapped it around with some fabric scraps. This one is only fabric with some twine in between, and this was my tube with a scrap of and some cotton, couple of beads that I used my Sharpie to bring them to a brown color. Have fun, everyone. Be adventurous and stay cozy. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.